What are triggers? Now, triggers, as we know them by their basic definition, are the cause of a reaction or an event. Alright. Even in this case, it is similar. A trigger in this context means the cause behind a tag firing. Like, look at it this way: a trigger is basically a condition. When it is fulfilled, it fires a certain tag. Right. Now, if I show you, for example, these are certain triggers that I have created. This is a click trigger and this is a page view trigger. The different types of triggers, now I'll show you. They could be page view trigger, in which there's page view, DOM ready and window loaded. There could be click triggers, which could mean if you have a button or a link on your website which is then clicked, so that would be a trigger that could fire a tag associated with it. There's user engagement triggers, which means element visibility, form submission, scroll depth. Suppose a user has scrolled around 50% of your website, that would come under this. Then YouTube video, suppose a YouTube video is embedded on your site and a user watches it, so this would come under this trigger. There's other triggers for custom events, history change, JavaScript error, timers, like you can fire tags in certain time frames. And there's also trigger group, which has multiple triggers inside it, and only if the conditions for all of those triggers are satisfied, only then that this trigger group gets satisfied and it fires the tag which is associated with it, right? I have already created certain triggers, but I'll just delete them and create new ones to show you how it works. Alright, so all our tags and triggers have been cleared now. We'll go to new, trigger configuration. First, we'll select a page view trigger. Right. We'll click all page views. Like if a user lands on a page, it is considered to be a page view trigger. Now, there's also an option of some page views, but that requires knowledge of variables, and we'll be getting into that later. Right. So for now, we'll click on all page views. We'll name this pf all pages. We'll save this trigger, and we'll just add which tags we want to fire if this condition is met. I'll go here, click. Suppose I select Google Ads conversion tracking. For now, I'm just putting in dummy values, but you can get the real values from your Google Ads account. As you can see, I filled this up. Then I'll set a trigger to it. This is the one that we created. Generally, an all page trigger is already made for you, like it is ready made there, but I just made one now for your reference. I'll just link this. Added a trigger to the tag. We'll name this Google Ads all pages. We'll save this tag. So now what this means is, if this condition or if this trigger is satisfied, then this tag will be fired. Alright, like if a user lands on any page of your website, then the Google Ads conversion tracking tag will fire. Now let's see the preview. This is the website URL. I'll connect. As you can see, the user, which is me in this case, has landed on the page. And we can see that our Google Tracking Manager is now connected to the website. We'll click on finish, and this will give you the summary of your connection test. Now, as you can see, tags fired, Google Ads all pages. This is the trigger that we had made, which is all pages, and the condition here is equals. So since this is equaling this, the tag was fired. Here you can see that there is a green tick which says that the tag was successfully fired. Right. Now if you notice that when I'm on container loaded, only then it is in tags fired, otherwise it is shown under tags not fired. Now this is because even though they come under the same category, container loaded basically means the page view trigger. Now DOM ready means when there's a certain code for a website and you land on that website and the code is loaded but the website is not yet loaded. That is when you use the DOM ready trigger. Window loaded is for when the code has been loaded and the contents of the page have been loaded. That's when you use the window loaded trigger, right? And that is the difference between these three. Page view or container loaded is simply when a user lands on a page or has the intent of viewing a page. That is called page view trigger, right? Another thing about triggers is like I can have multiple tags set to the same trigger, right? I'll show you an example of that. Now I have already created this trigger which is pf all pages. Now I'll just go to tags, I'll select new tag. This time first I had added Google Ads conversion tracking. Now I'll add conversion linker and I'll link that to the same trigger as previous one. Click on add pf all pages preview, right? Save pf conversion linker all pages, save. Now as you can see in the tag section, these are two separate tags but they are both linked to the same firing trigger. And now if I go to the preview section to test, and see again it will ask for the URL which will open your site in a new tab, and again the user has landed on the page and Google Tag Manager has been successfully connected to our website. So we'll just end this, click on continue. Again it shows you the summary, and this time if you see the tags fired, there are two, which means here the condition is being fulfilled, also here the condition is being fulfilled. So as I said previously, two tags can be linked to the same trigger, right? Now another thing is, this was the example of page view. Suppose I'll show you another example of triggers as well. I'll make a click trigger, right? So we'll go here, create a new trigger and click. For now we'll select all elements and all clicks again, because if we click on some links, it again we'll again have to use variables for that, which we'll cover in the later parts. So we'll select all clicks, we'll name this all click pf, we'll save it, and as you can see an all click trigger has been created here. Now I'll go to tags, I'll create a new tag configuration. Suppose I select same one again, alright, 1 2 3 4 5. Again I am using dummy values, but you can get the real values from your Google Ads account. Filling this form, then I'll link this to the all clicks trigger this time. Previously we had linked into the all pages, which is page view trigger. Now we'll link it to the all click trigger. We'll save this, we'll name this pf click all pages, save, and as you can see another tag has been created. Now we previously saw that multiple tags can be linked to the same trigger. Now as you can see it goes both ways, that one tag can be fired using multiple triggers. Alright, so now we have this all click trigger ready. Let's put it to use. We'll go to the preview section. This will open our site in a new tab. Now so the Google Tag Manager is connected. Now we had put an all click trigger, so we'll just click this about and finish the preview. Continue. as you can see, it will give you the summary to container loaded, which is our page view, and it will show you that these two were successful since both of them were linked to page view. Now, as you can see, previously we only had these 5. Now there's another tag added, which is the click one, and here you can see that tags fired was this, our event equal to click, and hence it shows you a green tick, which means the condition was successfully satisfied. Okay, some other examples that I would give you and that you need to keep in mind while working with click is that, okay, let's go to preview again with the same tags. Now previously when we connected here, we only clicked once on the site. Okay, so it created one tag. What if I click multiple times? I clicked 1, 2, 3 and 4 times, and then I finish the session. Alright, now as you can see, 4 click tags have been created here, and all of them will be ticked, which means the conditions everywhere are being satisfied. On the click section, you will see that the tags fired are only the click ones, only the ones that were linked to the trigger, which is clicking on all elements. Now again, if you go to container loaded, you'll see that the click tags are not fired. This is because just the page is being loaded, right? And we had these two tags linked to our page view trigger, so only these two tags are being fired. Similarly, one last example, if we go to preview again, Google Tag Manager connected, and as you can remember, we already have the all clicks trigger linked to this. But suppose I don't click anywhere on the site, so what will happen is our tags will not be fired at all. The tags that are linked to all click triggers, those will not be fired at all. But even though this is not getting fired, our other two tags which were linked to page view are still being fired because we still landed on the page, right? So just to summarize everything we have done in this video, we first learned what a trigger is. A trigger is a cause behind a reaction or an event, which in this case is a tag. So the trigger is basically a condition which if met, then a certain tag would fire. This is the definition of a trigger. And triggers could be of various types, which could be page view trigger, which means if a user lands on a page, it would fire a certain tag that is linked to the trigger. It could be click triggers, which could mean button clicks, URL clicks, etc. It could be usability triggers, like if a user has scrolled down 25% of your website, then that could fire a tag if it's linked to that trigger. And another thing is that multiple tags could be linked to one trigger, like if a condition is met, then multiple tags could fire at the same time, and vice versa. One tag could be linked to multiple triggers as well, right? And we also saw the difference between page view, DOM ready and window loaded, which says that page view is when simply a user lands on a page, whereas DOM ready is when the code is running but the website has not yet loaded, and window loaded is when the code has been loaded and also the contents of the website have been loaded. So this was just a quick overview of what triggers are and how they work. Thank you.